Good morning.
Hello, hello. I'm trying to. All right. Zoom is acting crazy today, so I apologize. Let's see.
Looks like they had some updates.
Let's see.
Okay, all right, let me turn off my audio here. Oh boy, audio.
Morning.
Second. Let's see. Get out of this. All right.
Morning, everybody.
Well,
Hey, Jim.
Good morning.
Jimbo.
Good
Good
morning.
morning,
How's
good
everybody?
morning, good morning, good morning.
Morning, Doug. Morning, Jordan. Morning, Jim. Good morning, Miss Rhonda.
Hi
Morning,
there.
Gordon.
Oh,
here we go.
hi, Carol.
Morning.
Oh, Jason,
Hello.
somebody deserves an A+ for getting those yellow double lines on the culvert repair so quickly.
Well, we've been trying.
Mhm.
Hopefully the sod should be getting put in by tomorrow. So it's not quite done. I know there's been kind of some discussion that is complete. We're trying to get the message out. It's not quite complete, but it should be soon. We're still letting people in.
Okay, good.
Hey, Gordon.
Good morning, Harry.
Morning, Harry. Good morning, Jamie.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm trying to get connected here.
Hello, Ed.
Hello, hello. How are you, sir?
Very good.
Excellent.
Somebody say something. I'm having
Yeah.
trouble hearing through the
Yes.
earphones. And
Mary Holly going to be joining us this morning or?
You should be.
Okay.
Should be downstairs.
I
Okay,
just resent her the link just to make sure she had it.
okay, good.
We've
it's a
got
headphone issue then.
Well, Doug, you've been busy traveling?
A little bit, yep.
Yeah.
Got to take a few days off there in between the last meeting and that was nice. And went down to my favorite golf tournament for a day. So that was nice. Got very lucky that went on Friday and thought the winds were going to be really bad, but it wasn't too bad. And then I had friends who used my badges on Saturday and they just froze to death. So I'm glad I didn't want to go on Saturday. So I got badges luckily through my mom and her late husband, and been very fortunate to be going since '91. And used to go 3 out of 4 days, and then I figured out I'm too old to do that. And so it's trust me, you try to walk that course, that is one hilly course. So so I go and find a place to sit near a restroom and concession stand, and I just I've seen Tiger. It's just kind of the ambiance of being there and enjoying, and it's certainly a lot of fun. So always excited to go. So it was fun, and but great events, great event for Georgia. I wish the state of Georgia would do something around it. It just will not promote the state. And I have asked for years, why don't you promote the state after the world looks at the state, because the whole world's looking at Augusta for a week. So, and I don't even get any comments. They don't even care about saying, well, hey, you just saw part of beautiful Georgia. We have many more things and places to visit. Come visit Georgia. Nothing. I mean, they just don't care. It's trust me, it's a losing battle, and I keep fighting it, but whatever. So
Who's they, Doug?
they mostly is the economic development department.
I got you.
Dairy tourism, because everybody's made up different departments, and they're the ones that care the most, certainly. And they, for a week and a half, the golf courses pretty much in eastern, middle Georgia, North Georgia, even down as low as Savannah, are just booked with people coming. I've talked to travel agents for years, and they're, we from all over the world. Yeah, we book people into, Georgia, come play golf and do things like that. But the state, I don't know. I just can't figure out. This is the reason I started this trail, and because we have 3 success stories around us with Alabama, Florida, and South Carolina. They get it. The states help. They bring in hundreds of millions of dollars from golf, and Georgia just doesn't do anything. So I don't know, but we keep fighting the fight.
Jason, is the mayor on yet? Or?
Yeah, she down there.
Everybody's here. Karen is not going to be on this meeting.
Okay,
I'm going to try to do the minutes. So if y'all will speak clearly so I can, and so I know who's making the motions, seconds, etc. She's our new deputy clerk started this week, Monica. She's doing a great job, but Karen is working with her right now. Karen's kind of carried the heavy lift with and while we've been trying to get our deputy clerk on board. So she's going to be doing some stuff today, so she won't be on this meeting.
well, let's go ahead and officially, call a meeting to order. And I guess the first thing on the agenda will be the approval of the minutes. Is there a motion? Everyone had a chance to look at it. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I've read the minutes, and I'm not really in a position to comment on them, but they seem logical and so on. So, yeah, so moved.
Is there a second?
A second.
Great. There's a discussion. I do have a discussion on and I just want to get some clarification on the minutes. The last page was "Let's go for a ride," and I'm going to just read it to you in terms and make sure this is our follow-up. Essentially, "Let's go for a ride." It's saying Ford Raven has started advertising this kind of venue. Holly stated the biking excursion here in Sky Valley would be a great event to look into, which I happen to agree. Discussion on where the biking could take place ensued. Jamie will try to gather additional information concerning this type of venue at the next Ford Raven meeting. Holly had suggested that the Special Projects Committee could get involved as well to help coordinate such an event. And my comment is, at this point, is this what we stated, and or does our committee, are they going to follow up on it, or will this be something the Special Projects Committee will take care of? Possibly, Holly, you could answer that.
I could.
But essentially, the follow-up. I want to just make sure, are the
Gotcha.
committee going to do this? Or?
Gotcha. I'm talking slowly so Jason can get
No.
down the minutes.
I've got it. I've got it.
Okay. Yes, I still think it's something we need to look into. And I think, first of all, with Jamie going to the marketing board of Forward Raven, I thought it would be great if she could discuss some of the pros and cons and what we need to look out for and what we need to plan for if we decide to do this before we put the special projects committee into action.
Okay.
And we talked about it being a one-time event, not a, not anything ongoing that we build a biking trail or anything in Sky Valley, just due to the hills, the roads and all that. But this would be a annual event, kind of like, or a semi-annual, maybe 2 times in the season. Is that what you remember, Holly?
Yes, ma'am, I think that's right on.
Okay.
Good. Okay, very good. So from the committee, we'll wait on that. So I guess if we're agreement, all in favor of the minutes?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good, very good. Very good. I guess the second item on the agenda will be marketing update. Doug, would you want? You're on.
Thanks, sir. Hope everybody's had a good month and certainly have here. Got a lot of things going. Springtime. It's great to be outside. Actually had a media guy with me a couple of weeks ago and got to take him around to some places in Georgia and actually got to play some golf, which I haven't done much since my surgery, but all seems to be going good there. So that's nice, and always nice to get media people here in Georgia. And as I've said before, that is probably the biggest way to advertise. And so very excited to continue that. We have some people that we are lining up for the rest of the year. Some of them certainly can't see all of Georgia, so we try to split it up the best we can. And want certainly to get as many people as we can up to Sky Valley. I spoke to a gentleman yesterday who's in Florida, who's part of that New England golf that I sent you guys out, that our new media partner is. He wants to come, but I told him I wanted to get him up to Sky Valley, and so that's a little extra oomph, and so we'll work on that. But that it's really nice. It's really nice to see the reaction that we get from the media person who probably doesn't know a lot about what we have here in our state, other than the big names like Sea Island or Reynolds, or maybe some of the oldies like Callaway or Stone Mountain, that type stuff. So we want them to see all that we have, and so it's exciting, and we try to make it fun and fulfilling, and but part of that type stuff, some have to pay for, some don't have to pay for. Just depends somebody's time for that amount of days, 3 or 4 days. I usually have to pay part of that. Like you guys have done before, we've hosted people, and so most everybody, picks up a tab for rooming, and some people pay for food, certainly golf, that type of stuff. So so some of the money you give me goes toward that, but it goes toward that in a very small way based on what it would cost us if I said, hey, let's go do this. So that's what we try to do to make sure, and it takes some effort in terms of figuring out who can do it, what they will charge. I could have somebody here every week, probably every month for sure, but we can't afford that, so I have to pick and choose and know what we're doing. So let me just start off with what I sent you guys yesterday, and we've been kind of out of pocket with the welcome centers, and The Welcome Centers are under the umbrella of Georgia Economic Development, the tourism side. So they do allow us to be in there without any cost. So, and that's been nice. And we've done a lot of nice events over the years, but the last 2 years, you know, they've been kind of out of pocket because of COVID. So they're getting back into it. So they allow us to put banners and brochures in the different welcome centers. We actually have, just to update you, Georgia has 11 welcome centers across the state. The big ones, okay, I'm sure there's some of these ones might be small. We're certainly not talking about small CVB type places, but the ones that we mainly target are the 4 interstates, 75, 95, 20, and 85. And we do both in and out of the state, if you can understand that. So that's 4 times 2, so that comes up to 8. So we want these people to know what we have here in Georgia, and been very surprisingly over the years how many calls or information I have gotten that they saw it at the visitor center and didn't know we had all these type things. So this has been something's great. Again, no cost to us, other than, you know, what we pay for to put out the banners and the brochures. And then hopefully the state of Georgia is going to get back to doing Georgia on My Mind days and fun things. Just to give you, for instance, which is very big, the Savannah Welcome Center right there on 95 averages about 3,000 people that walk through their doors a day. So you would not believe it if you just stood there and just saw the people just come, you know, continue to come. And they have the biggest welcome center in Georgia. And so we've been able to do a lot of stuff there. And we still have plans to do some other things in some of the a bigger golf area, and a couple of the ones like Savannah, like Augusta, certainly Augusta. And so we've got some things moving, but it's the state, so it don't move very fast. So we're going to be sending out brand new ones, new brochures, new banners that will recognize everybody as part of what you see already on the trail map, that type of stuff. So email blasts continue to go out each month and to Eastern US. Always.
Doug, before you get on to email blasts, could I ask a question about the visitor centers?
Yes, sir.
Could you describe a little bit what the banners are? I don't quite I mean,
Let
we
me-
set them out and
Hey, Jim, let me do this if I can. Let me send you a picture of it. It's just one of those banners
Okay.
that, you know, that pull up, you know, and it's what, 8 by 2, you know, that
Mhm.
goes to the floor. And, you know, most of it is the map, but then it's got our 800 number on it. It's got all the information, the website, all that type stuff. So it's just a real quick thing as people run to the bathroom that hopefully they can stop and see what we have. But we've had really good success with them. Now, not everybody gets a banner. So this is what you know, you go in these welcome centers and, you know, you see all these thousands of brochures from, you know, hundreds of people. They'll allow the brochures, but they won't allow just banners, you know, everybody's banner in there. So because we have a partnership with them, we're allowed to put a banner in there and any other thing that we might want to do. We've had golf days where we've had putting stuff, and Bridgestone's given us stuff, and we've given stuff away from other members. And so we're excited about hopefully getting that back, because actually getting and talking to the people are exciting. But it's a pretty big banner. So I mean, you can't miss it if you know, are in the area of it. So but I'll be glad to send you a picture of it.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to see it. I didn't quite understand if it was for the golf trail, which we're an important part of, or if it was.
It's for the
directed
golf
to
trail.
Skyview.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
all about the Georgia Golf Trail. Okay, we want people to understand what we're doing. We want people to understand that there's golf in Georgia, and get them excited about, because we get so many people that do stop at these welcome centers, and not just for stopping and going to the restroom, but you go inside, find out information, and you might not think that 3,000 people a day in Savannah is a lot, but that's a lot of people coming through those doors. So we want to make sure they have the correct everything. So it's certainly information they can pick up, use really quick, pick up a brochure right there, take it with them. Hopefully as they're driving, maybe they're, checking out the website and going from there. But I'll be glad to send you a picture, Jim.
Thank you.
Doug, if you don't mind, I would also like a copy of the brochure and the banner. I might be able to incorporate that information into my efforts with the social media.
Yeah, sure, Rhonda. Be glad to. We are getting brand new cover, and inside is just mainly the map and talks a little bit. You have a couple sentences about whatever, and then the back's got all the information. But so we're doing a brand new one. But I think we got everything ready to go, Rhonda, and I'll be glad to send it to you. So.
Thank you.
All right. Howard Beckett was very nice to go on our new media partner when we talked about Southern Fairways Golf radio show out of Mobile. And we appreciate Howard doing that. It was a great interview, and we will be doing more with them later this year from Sky Valley. So we'll be asking you. He'll have me on and has had me on already, but it just seems more I don't know, realistic if they have somebody from actually Sky Valley who lives there, does things there, whatever. So it's a great show that, they had the magazine that we were on the cover and had a very nice article in earlier this month. And then the radio shows every week. So he's going to allow us to come on every other week, which is fantastic. And this is the type of stuff that doesn't cost us a dime. It's just our efforts to go out there and find people who want to know more about Georgia, and then we help them promote their magazine and radio show, and that kind of trades out what we're doing. But they're part of ESPN systems, radio systems, and they have over 10 radio stations across the Southeast and then online. So I'm sure we'll talk about this in a minute or whatever. I came up and met with Jamie and Holly and Gordon with Jerry, and I'll probably say it wrong, Spruill. Thank you. Late last month, the timeshares. Good meeting, but we didn't get very far. As I think we all marketing committee people agreed afterwards. We certainly, I know we can help them in different ways. We talked about different ways, but didn't think we got very far with them. So again, I'm sure we'll talk about it in a few minutes. But there again is still some real need for potential golf groups or home buyers to be able to stay at. And leading into that, we had a nice group that wanted to come to Sky Valley through our travel company. So I get the information, as I told you too, I send it over to my travel guy who works with me. And he contacted them and told them what was available in the area, and that they probably would have to find their own housing. And he understands. We talked about, how to say it and what to say and things like this. So I don't remember the details, but it was a few people for a few days that they wanted to come up, and I don't remember the time frame, but so we've got it where we can get to these people very quickly, as I mentioned, instead of us trying to do it. Because some of the other members, you know, I pass it on to them, and they have staff that can do stuff like that. So this guy is actually a travel person, and he can do all the accommodations and set up tea times and do all that type of stuff. So, and it doesn't cost us anything. So, we got to continue to put this on the, you know, near the top of the list of trying to figure out, you know, what we can do to have something that's just very visible, other than our website's good. Hey, here you go. Here's different places. I get it. So we want these groups to come, and I'm not saying this group's not coming. I don't know, you know, usually when a group looks at a place to go, they're not just looking at one place. They're looking at a few different places. Thus, the reason they're sending out the inquiries about what we have. So, and then I'm sure they get the information. They go back to their people and say, hey, here you go. We can go to Sky Valley, or we can go to here, or Myrtle Beach, or whatever. So we just want to always keep this in the conversation and continue to try to work, you know, the best way we can to bring in revenue for Sky Valley.
It sounds like we could be missing out on some of these groups if they're evaluating several places at the same time, if we don't have accommodations that are convenient to the course. Is that what?
Yeah, it's right. And he knows, like I said, he knows about, you know, Highlands, he knows about Dillard, whatever the place, Julep House right down the street from y'all. So he knows about all these places, and then he also knows that they can go to the go look online for houses in the area, you know, at the different sites. So yeah, it'd be great. Hey, we have our own timeshares or our own condos we could rent out to you, or here's a nice, you know, 4 thing. So it would be nice to say that. We don't have that, you know, yet. So we are making progress, and I can see the progress. We can't advertise so much on golf packages because we just don't have, you know, oh, here we have a great golf course, but oh, you got to stay down the street, you know. Oh, okay. Well, and that's okay. It's not the end of the world, because it's certainly you want to go to the area, and, but we just want to keep this in the forefront. So,
let's ask Holly real quickly. Are the discussions with Harris and Merrill, is he still interested in lodging, or would that be the last phase of the project? I mean, are we 10 years out or 5 years out, or? I know he wants to develop residential.
Yes, we're still in discussion with him. In fact, Bill Oliver is going to call and see if we can't schedule another session with him and with the citizens to listen to how we are in these talks. And you know, bureaucracy moves at a snail's pace. And Harrison Merrill has many projects going on, and I don't think that we're the priority, but we're going to continue to try to bring us to the forefront of what's going on. That nothing has been decided, you know, concretely, but we continue to talk.
The reason I ask, of course, is that would be the long run solution for us if he were to develop overnight lodging, you know, short-term rentals that we could take advantage of.
Sure. Yeah. And I see the need, certainly. Yeah. Thank you, Jim.
If I can throw this in, it's a little different, but Currahee Club up there, you know, has a beautiful golf course and clubhouse, but they went in and they're trying to sell real estate for sure, but they went in and built about 4 let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So they got 4 in each building. They have about 4 buildings, so maybe 16. Really nice condos, 2-bedroom condos. And I'm
Where?
sorry, Currahee Club or Toccoa.
Yeah.
So they knew in order to get people up here to look at us, we got to build something, and they did. And so and they're very nice. Now, you know, hopefully one day they'll recoup their money, but sometimes you just gotta do that. Understand y'all are not, you know, developers, so it's a
Right.
different, but that's just a idea because they're trying to, you know, get their name out there too. They have, not to get into Currahee Club, but they've had woeful marketing problems for years and just never done it the right way. So let me move on. So I'm sure Gordon's timing me. So as you heard, I sent you all the radio show from Georgia News Network. It's Georgia Focus. It's a statewide radio show that goes out to about 50 radio stations across Georgia. We talked about the trail in Sky Valley as we piggybacked with the Masters. And they are a wonderful way to advertise, and they do a great job. And John Clark, who's in charge of this, it's an iHeart. If everybody knows what iHeart Network is, it's just a big group of conglomerate that owns radio stations around the, God, I don't know how far they own, but they own a lot. But they do a great job with the little guy. Okay, these are little radio stations across Georgia, and but I mean, to have 50 of them, you know, being, you know, heard. I had actually one lady where I work out, you know, mentioned that she heard me on the show, so that was good. So again, these are type things. It didn't cost any money, just because of the networking I've had with them over the years, and then certainly I go back and make sure they are. My members know, hey, this is great. Here's their advertising person, that type stuff. So they appreciate that. Just working on, as I mentioned earlier, as I skip around, more media people coming to Georgia. I'm working on a guy from the Pittsburgh area, but it's big, huge up there in mid-Atlantic. And he's got actually a TV show, radio show. And so we've been in communication a couple of times since I saw him in January at PGA show about coming down. We're just trying to figure out a good time to get him down. And then already mentioned a couple of others, and we've actually got a couple of others. So we got quite a few, hopefully, that will be coming to Georgia this year, and we want to get as many as we can to Sky Valley. Working on a Florida real estate company that's going to help us promote Sky Valley with some of their advertorial this summer they sent out to their members. So just promoting, hey, you know, North Georgia mountains, highest, coolest. And that's it. I'll sum it up there, Gordon.
Very good. Thank you, Doug. Very well, very complete. Thank you for all the work you're doing there.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. It absolutely is a pleasure.
I guess the second item will be the website report. Jason and Jamie, would you give us an update what's happening?
Go for it, Jason.
Okay, yes, well, we've had some continued discussions. We met with the Lawsons, I believe last week. They have made some suggested changes. The Visit Sky Valley, the bones seem to be there. At least from my perspective, I think that really we need to probably start really drilling down on the content. There's a lot of stock video and photos that probably need to be more customized, more locally to Sky Valley. I know there's some video, if you look at it, you can tell it's not Sky Valley, but Rhonda is planning on working, I believe, with Mike tomorrow. I will say this, just, I kind of touched on this a couple of minutes ago, not to get off topic, but the past few weeks, Rhonda's kind of had to step up, help kind of fill the void where we've been down on a key position here, but now that we've got this position hired, she's going to be able to step back into what she was brought on to do. So, she's going to be working with Mike, I know, I believe tomorrow. And I feel like that with that refocus, we can really do the tweaking. As Rhonda says, she's a tweaker. She likes to tweak things. And so it's anyway, if you had a chance to look at it, I do think we're going in the right direction. And it's looking good, but it does need a few little tweaks. And I think just driving that daily content and turning over content and really focusing on what's going on in the city, and that focus to visit the city is going to prove successful.
And Gordon, can I add something? And this probably is off topic, but I wanted to thank Rhonda for her efforts to help the city out when we were, at one point, we had both she was the only one left in City Hall because of a bunch of stuff. And I appreciate everything that you do, Rhonda, and thank you.
Yes.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you. I appreciate you noticing.
Believe me. Jamie, do you have anything to add on to?
No, maybe next week, Rhonda, when you're, this session, I think is going to be a little more training with the Lawsons about ins and outs. So maybe next week you and I can get together with Helen and start working on the history part. I'm just going to say that while we're together here, but doesn't really have anything to do with it. But it's coming along, and the it is up, with something to look at that is getting there, I think.
Great. Well, again, I want to thank you for the committee working on that, Jamie and Debbie, and I know you put a lot of time and effort into that, and Rhonda. A lot of good things are going to come from it. Thank you. I guess the next item will be the Jamie talking about the Raven Marketing Board meeting with, you tell us forward, Raven, what, did you have a meeting at all, and maybe bring us an update?
We do, and there is a long list of advertising that Rabun County does, which is just real impressive. I'm just going to read a few things that are, ongoing, current, and then a few things that are upcoming. But I think what I get out of all this is they're doing so much in so many places that we really need to have material to them, mostly digital, our website up and anything else we need to feed them, and things that might go, something that might go in a packet when they get requests to mail. They prefer to direct people digitally because of the expense and the weight of sending through mail, but they do mail. But we are kind of currently and been going on the Atlanta magazine, and also in touch with the economic development of the state, the Southern Living magazine, and some of these are the local, like Southern Living is mostly a Southern thing, but Good Housekeeping. We're in local editions for Good Housekeeping magazine that are specific to the South. Southern Travel and Lifestyles, Blue Ridge Digest, Blue Ridge Country Magazine, Spring Oxford American Anniversary, Spring Travel and Taste Tour. We're going to be in the Atlanta Braves program with a nice large page in their program. Of course, the Clayton Tribune Answer Book, WSB TV promotionals. We're well represented there. The Atlanta Hawks, we put that in this year. Fox 5, streaming and digital, we're advertising there. North Georgia Map and State Parks, billboards, 2 billboards particularly. and weekly media, social, and some daily Facebook and Twitter posts. So that's pretty much ongoing. Also, there'll be, we're going to be working with Fox, doing another package, the Atlanta Magazine again. Let me skip over a couple of things. We're going to be in the July and August issue of Plateau Magazine, and that is specific to Cashiers Highlands area. And I thought that would be really great for us, and mentioned it to them. Hopefully they could somehow sort of direct a little attention to Sky Valley, because there's no private or public rather golf courses up there. So, you know, if we could mention Sky Valley, that it's open to the public, we could possibly catch some people coming into Sky Valley through that. Southern Travel and Lifestyle. This coming fall, we're going to be in the University of Georgia football. It's the national championship commemorative issue. And it'll be in their program that will be in all the games. And, you know, the thought is it will be a commemorative issue that people will want to keep. And so, you know, they won't throw it away. It'll be something that will be around. So we'll be in that. There's other projects going on. There's other opportunities that we're looking for, but that's kind of what's going on. The bottom line is Rabun County is really doing a lot of promotions and full page ads, half page ads. I think we're being represented quite a bit. So for us to stay in and try to get ourselves, you know, in some of that advertising, most of it's generic to Rabun County. It can't be specific to everybody, but still be ready to be seen through that. So that's about it. We have a meeting once a month. So
Very good. Thank you. So lots going on. My goodness.
there's quite a bit.
Yes, yes. Very good. Okay, the next would be our Sky Valley timeshare meeting, and I'll just give you a brief review. Doug talked a little bit about it. Holly, Jamie, and Doug and I, we met with on the March the 25th with Jerry Spruill, and the purpose of the meeting was I'll go over, answer any questions that might have about our website, and because he had showed some interest. Review the timeshare rental program. That was another thing. It was and that's why one of the reasons Doug wanted to be there, see what was going on. Sky Valley Marketing Committee activities, programs, and then that would be Doug, and then Sky Valley Marketing Committee membership, see if he wanted to get involved. Well, he did, Jerry did ask questions about the visitor website. He had nothing prepared. I was very disappointed that there was nothing. I have to say mildly, he had not come up with a rental program, and that was really one of the big things we wanted to see. And in terms of the marketing committee activities, Doug did a wonderful job telling him what he thought he could do and help the timeshare and promote the timeshare. And then finally, it was termed, would they help them join our Sky Valley Marketing Committee membership? And he said he'd have to bring that up to I guess it'd be the board members. There's 12 presidents, board members, and he would get back to us. So at this point, we have not heard from him. So at this point, I'm not sure what direction that's going to go, but I followed up, and we have not heard if he wants to join or not. Any questions on that at all? Holly, maybe you could speak a little bit about it, about the meeting itself.
I think you succinctly summarized it. Thank you. Thank you, Gordon.
Okay, I guess at that point, I'm sure. Any other questions on it at all?
Just a comment. I mean, I hope we can stay engaged with these guys, because they seem to be at a critical point where, you know, people are wanting to withdraw and they're not sure if they're going to renew with these guys. And basically the problems are that some people aren't using the facilities, and yet they don't have the wherewithal to get them together. And if people want out of the timeshares, they ought to be working on a program to get those people to swap units with folks so that all the people that want out are in one building, and in that one building can be sold to another investor who can then decide to open it up to short-term rentals or, remarket it to people that are really interested. It's a huge real estate assemblage problem, but people have been doing real estate assemblages for, hundreds of years. And some people know how to do that. So, there's just because we're not making progress now doesn't mean that we can't keep on them to be looking at other avenues that they haven't thought of before. Just
The
one
need-
man's opinion.
Well, I agree. It was emphasized, the need is there for short-term rental rentals, and he agrees on it. How do you make it happen? And the need is there. We have the need, as Doug has talked about it. And I think certainly the marketing committee could help him a lot in terms of, in my opinion, get more exposure for the timeshare people.
Mhm.
But whatever reasons, that we just haven't seemed to be able to communicate that. So
I
I
think
wish there
there's
was an
such a,
answer.
yeah, I
I'm
think
sorry.
there's such a lack of funds and leadership too, but lack of funds that they really just, I don't know how they could help at this point, but hopefully as time goes on and they get closer to their time frame for renewal or whatever, that will change, which that's a couple of years away, I think.
Yes,
Yes,
Well-
the RCI contract was a 50-year contract and it's up in 2025. So, yeah, I think we'll see some changes soon.
right.
Although if they can't even organize the financing from the people that own the units to upgrade the units and they're continuing to deteriorate, if they can't solve a much simpler problem like that, maybe what I'm talking about is just way beyond their capabilities.
I think we could individually explore our contacts or network of people that are in the real estate industry. Surely somebody knows someone who is a genius at putting something like this into perspective as far as marketing one or two of their buildings to convert it to a condo hotel sort of situation. And I know there's a lot of moving pieces, but there are experts that would know how to do that or could put together a small group of knowledgeable people that could do that and help Jerry move along toward that end.
Agree.
Agree,
I
Harry.
think you're right, Harry. I'm sorry.
So how do you make, I guess, any suggestions on making that happen?
Everybody think through their contacts or just think forward who might be a good person. Now's the time, where investors, I think, are looking for opportunities like that. They seem to be in Clayton, Georgia. They're here looking for housing quite a bit. So
Maybe we had,
Well,
I will look
yes.
and keep that on the forefront of my mind.
and maybe the Norton organization would have some residual interest in a project like that. But yeah, in terms of if anybody is looking for housing in Raven County, I think we've got the best total package in Raven County
Right.
for most people.
Yeah. And that's indicated in our lack of housing inventory for sale. And it's, yeah, I think you're right, Jim.
We do have a few lots.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do, Harry. If we could come up with a way to present this not only to Jerry Sperlin, but to the controlling board members in a way that is in their best interest to think about paradigm shifting, which is difficult for some people, I think that's a great idea.
So I agree, kicking it down, the need is there, for accommodation. So what's the next step? I guess
Yeah.
having a committee to do that, or just individuals that could maybe, I'd certainly get involved with it. But
What do you all think?
Harry, you've been a big proponent of it. You had some great ideas on it. If we could possibly get one of your best of friends. The need is there. Someone's.
As individuals, I think we need to have our antennas out and just be a little more receptive to asking questions of people in the real estate business that might know someone who knows someone who can help us with this predicament, because surely there's someone with a little bit of hunger and a little bit of expertise that can put some thoughts together toward our end.
And we all know that timeshares is pretty much a failing entity at this point. So other areas have had to go through this too, that we need to investigate. Maybe we know somebody that can help us in that realm also, because you realize for each condo unit, there can be up to 50 owners.
Right.
So, there's got to be some way to present a plan that's logical and rational and positive to them.
Jamie, I guess.
Do you remember, Gordon or Holly, what Jerry said about how many owners they dealt with? Was it like 600? Presently, they have 600 owners now that they, have to deal with.
That's correct. And also
wow.
Jerry
Yeah.
Sperlin said that they did a preliminary vote before the deadline of their contract to see which condo units were still interested in being part of a timeshare entity.
Right.
And at that time, he said there were 3, I don't know how you call them, clusters of condos that said no, they did not. So this is going to come to a place where we will have to but help them make a decision as to what they need to do. Otherwise, we're going to have empty buildings all over the place.
So I guess down the road, can anyone who's kicked the can down for the next meeting, maybe come up with some ideas for our next meeting?
Well, I think if Harry and Jamie can talk to their real estate contacts and find out if they've had any dealings with failing timeshares and give us some ideas, that would be a good start.
Harry,
Okay.
Harry, would you mind doing that and have something ready for us for the next meeting? We could.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have actually had some discussions with some of the timeshare management people that have offered to help people get out of their timeshares, and they draw the line on that expertise and don't want to go any further. But they did express the fact that if you had enough people that had actual ownership interest in a building that were willing to sell it, then the new owner to convert that to a type of condo, hotel, whatever you want to type arrangement would be a viable answer. And the purchase in a lot of cases is just a matter of the people that have an ownership position just getting out of their annual maintenance expenses are happy to walk away from it. And so now all you're faced with is just the renovation costs and furnishing to make it a decent building for rentals. And now you've got 8 or 12 or whatever the number of units in that building is, and you own a condo hotel for a relatively minimal investment and start realizing income from the tourist industry. So it's, I mean, any one of us could probably do it if we had the agreement of the present ownership.
I'm
So
not
it's
sure how
basically a
the,
huge,
go ahead, Jim.
I'm sorry. So basically it's a huge coordination problem of communicating with them, getting the records back, switching them out into one unit that is the designated one to go private or.
Yeah, as I see it, you could have one family that owns 1/50th of one unit of an 8 or 12 unit building that could, nix the whole project. So there
Yeah.
lies a problem where people are, they don't want to try to coordinate that effort, and it's it's complicated.
Yeah.
Have we seen any willingness on the part of the timeshares to get involved in this?
Not at this
Yeah.
time. I think they still are trying to figure out a way to continue the current procedures and company. Carolyn, the contract goes, I believe, to 2025. So yeah, no, we did not hear of them being interested in a paradigm shift.
One of the, Carol, one of the issues
one-
is that. one
They're
of
the only
issues-
ones,
I'm
they're the
sorry.
only ones that see that don't see that it's a failing adventure.
I think they are scared that it is, but they haven't communicated what they're thinking to us, Carol.
Well, and they also, there's quite a few of them, it sounds like, that are holding on to their timeshare because of the swapping, because they can swap and that's all they use it for. And
Right.
this is a cheap one to hold on to here.
That's true, Jamie. Yeah. They can
So,
swap out their weeks for some other place somewhere else in the world. Yeah. Yeah, and like Harry says, it's an extremely complicated thing, but I know there's got to be places where they've been through all this before and maybe can give us some advice that we can give to the timeshare people.
Well, I'll wrap it up. I'll look into it and maybe with Jamie and see if we could have some idea for the next meeting.
Yeah.
okay.
Some
Yeah.
ideas on it to go forward on it. Very good for
do some-
discussions. Rhonda?
I'll do some internet research and see if I can find anything there about, articles in magazines or
Yeah.
That'd be great, Jim.
industry publications.
Yeah.
Put something together for the next meeting. Terrific.
Yeah, it certainly is something we're gonna need to deal with in the next couple of years, that's for sure.
Okay, next item is the revised Visit Sky Valley logo, and Rhonda has put a lot of effort into it. And Rhonda, can you tell a little bit about it? You sent us just note on updated logo. Tell us what's happening.
Well, I have put forth quite an effort over the last few months to try to narrow down what I think everybody likes. And I think we're close to the finish line. I've had to dust off my design skills that I had from 20 years ago. And so I'm doing the best I can to try to create something. So we're close. I think we've narrowed it down to the layered mountains in the background, something that's darker. We're going to go with, I guess, the Visit Sky Valley, and then have Georgia's highest and coolest city. And so, you know, my feelings won't be hurt if anybody is like not completely satisfied with what I've come up with. And if you want to try somebody else out, you know, see if you can get something closer to what you want, my feelings will not be hurt. So
The question I had, committee, have you all looked at the revised logo, the one that just Rhonda sent out?
Mhm.
And what do you think?
I think it looks good. I think Debbie might have mentioned or wanted to see the smaller letters a little bolder, just for clarity. I think that's really close to the city's logo. You know, we got to go with something at some point, and we can always change it somewhere down the road if we want to, if we don't go start putting it on, you know, publications and things like that. But I don't know where it would go. I would love to see a little glimmer of light, of like a yellow or a gold or something that would catch your eye. But, you know, I haven't had time to even think about it. And I think Rhonda's done a great job of pulling together what we're trying to get to. Any other comments?
Well, I personally like the revised logo, but, and I know you only spend so much time on it. It looks good. Holly, have you had a chance to look at it?
Yeah. I think Debbie had some good suggestions as far as, you know, we're all old people and we need to be able to read it. I think it's great, and let's go with it.
Thanks, Holly. Okay.
That's okay, Doug.
Thanks, Holly. Just remind me some more. I got a birthday coming on next week, so don't be reminding me, we're getting older. Okay.
Yeah. Well, all right. We're all old, but Doug.
Okay, thank you.
Rhonda, I say maybe go with Debbie's suggestion, and let's just go with it. And I agree with Jamie. We got other things to do, and we can change it if we want to later. And I say go with it.
Yes.
I think it looks,
I thought a bunch of them had promise.
Yeah.
And Rhonda was kind enough to guide me through the web tour, and we looked at the logos again. And apparently there's a diversity of opinion out there too. I tend to defer to Debbie on these kinds of decisions. She's one of the few people who can actually change my mind, you know.
Way to go, Debbie.
Yeah. Are we
We'll be
ready to
talking to you
vote?
later, Debbie.
Are we ready to vote on this in terms of the revised logo?
I say let's.
Does
I
it
say
need a
go.
vote or just, or?
I don't think it needs a vote, but
Oh, we
just
don't. I
maybe an
thought we
agreement.
had an agreement on
If it
this.
was going to be
Yeah.
a vote, should we have it all, should we have them all in front of us so that we all know what each other is voting for?
Well, it was just on the last. Rhonda, would you be so kind and to send us the revised, and I guess we could do it by internet, whatever. Send us
Maybe
the
an
updated
email
one, the
poll.
final one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that'll be, I think we spent a lot of time on it and it's important, but there's other issues that are
Yeah.
a lot more, in my opinion, more important.
Yeah.
In my
Let's
opinion.
just do it by email, Gordon. I think that's a great
Yes.
idea.
Yes,
And should
Thank you,
we,
Rhonda.
Rhonda,
would it be helpful if we came up with a first choice, a second choice, and a third
no,
choice?
no.
No.
Okay.
No,
I'm gonna put this to bed. No.
no.
We have.
Be
the-
done with it.
Yes, be done with it. And Rhonda,
Or did.
Debbie, her suggestions, could you do that? And then we'll send it out.
Yeah.
Sure thing.
I think it's good. It's, yes. Okay, any other comments on that? Thank you again, Rhonda, for everything you're doing there and trying to put it all together.
good job.
Yes, absolutely.
you.
Okay, next item, Sky Valley marketing budget. And I found out in this case here, we wanted to do a few ads, and I was asked that we have to, in terms of all expenditures for marketing, it has to be approved, formally approved by the committee, marketing committee, and the city council. So what I want to do today, and that's got to be put on in writing, and that's good for checks and balances, that makes sense. So what I want to do is just briefly go over the budget again. And I sent something out. Has everyone had a chance to look at it? And what I'm going to do here is just go over generally the revenues, the expenses, and then we're going to take each expense item and if we can approve on it as a committee. So are you following me? And so as I look at it in terms of monetary contributions, if we look at this, I'm just going to talk about 2022. We have the city of Sky Valley as $15,015. We have committed from the POA 5,000, committed from the club 5,000. So we have a total monetary contributions of 25,000. That'll give you an idea what we have committed for. We have in a current bank balance as of today, $15,478. So it'll give you an idea just what kind of money we have there. Am I speaking too fast as we're calling here?
We're fine.
You're good.
You're okay. Then we go back to just generally expenses. Again, I'm not going to approve them, but I'll just tell you the expenses we have here as we go along. In terms of expensive communications, we have Gulf Life, $5,250. That was based on a suggestion of a 7-month contract ending the end of December for Gulf Life. Then we have advertising expenses, approximately $3,135. That involves Visitor Guide Map, Mountain Lake Publishing, and Clayton Tribune, $3,000. Then we have professional services I put in there of Steve Denberg's photography. That was involved $8,000, incense travel $300, so subtotal of $8,300. And then we had general supplies, cost of goodie bags, Ed Steele from last year, this year is possibly $200 for a future golf tournament here. Hay bale, bark materials, Gordon, it was $266. I bumped that up a little bit to about $500 in terms of an area. I thought this year we're going to do something a little special. So in terms of total expenses, if we add them all up, projected expenses, it's $17,385. So total expenses as we know it right now, nothing coming up. Then I'm going to go to the second page. Other marketing expenses, I'm not sure what we might have. So our total expenses projected at this point is $17,385. If we have a bank balance projected budget expenses, if we have bank balance, if we take the bank balance after projected expenses, it would be $8,000. So if we take our revenues, projected expenses, we have $8,000 left. Just to give you an idea what the money is out there. And then if we carry over funds, we said that we're going to carry over $3,000 in funds. So that in the checking account that we have $3,000. So available in terms of bank balance, after carryover funds, we have $5,093. That'll give you a general idea that we have between now and the end of the year. If we approve all the expenses that we're going to talk about, we'd still have $5,093 left over. So any comments before we go into the expenses itself? Individual expenses. Am I making sense? Go ahead.
Just to say that when you and the rest of the budget committee, including myself, got together, we felt that there were opportunities that were going to come up later in the year, and that's why there's undesignated funds. I think we all agreed that, you know, we've got the golf resort thing nailed. I mean, we've got the facilities, we've got the community. It's a going concern. That's our biggest marketable asset. And so we're going to continue marketing that with Doug. What we would
Yeah.
like to do would be to broaden the reach to improve the reach with the natural history community and the outdoor recreation folks, the kayakers and the bicyclers and the runners and all those folks. And now we've got the website up and running, and that's going to be a place where we need to focus on with some additional content. I mean, it looks great, and I'm really excited by it. Rhonda pointed out to me all the social media that we're on, and you know, I don't really grasp all of the potential, but boy, there's a lot more there than I understood before. So whether we get somebody else to help us market through that, I think now we're finally able to start turning our attention in that direction. So that, I mean, we've got plenty to offer to lots of folks, the hikers, in addition to the golf course. And of course, golfers have family members with diverse interests as well. So
Right.
if we can get across the point that we've got lots of attractions for lots of people, we're the greatest place in the Eastern United States, you know,
Mhm.
Right.
that's the kind of thing that I would emphasize for the, you know, the remaining $5,000.
Okay,
Well said, Jim.
yes. So other comments on it, I totally agree on it. We have the money left over. Well, let's go into again, we have to approve the individual, Mayor Holly, we have to approve the individual expenses to go on. So that what I'd like to do is let's take each one as we come up, and the area would be, we're talking about Golf Life. Okay, right now, Golf Life, Doug has submitted a contract, and Golf Life is like $750 a month. And so that if you took, and his contract ends as of June, so that his new contract would be June through December. We asked him to do that in lieu of a yearly contract. Holly said basically because of budgeting of the city, and that would coincide with the budgeting of the city. Holly, is that correct?
That's correct. Thank you.
Yeah. So in this case here, looking at what Doug has done is that we take $750 times 7 months, that comes to $5,250. So that essentially is, in the case of what he's doing for the end of the year. So I guess talking about his contract, Doug is just he's done an incredible job of marketing Sky Valley and the Sky Valley, everything within Sky Valley. And any questions on that? And I think we should go ahead and I guess prove that contract so that we can get the contract signed. How do we go about doing that, Ollie, at this point?
Well, you just have to approve it as a recommendation to the council, and then the council does their deal, and then it's over.
So as a recommendation, does the committee have to approve this too? In this case, I would think they would, but.
Yes, I would think so.
I
So
move
committee-
that I move that we go ahead and approve the Golf Life contract. I mean, it's of all the things we're doing, it's the thing that's working best, I
Yes,
think.
I agree. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay,
Okay.
all in favor? Aye.
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 Great,
Aye.
fantastic. Okay, the second item is,
Who gave the second? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Carol.
Okay.
Carol Robinson.
Carol?
Do we have to approve each line item individually?
I'm going to ask you, I don't need to, I can go either way. You tell me the best way to go. I could,
I think that you need to approve anything, a contract, but other than that, we're okay. As you can present the budget to the council.
okay. Ed, does that make sense?
So
Okay.
we accept all these, I move we accept all these expenses as viable expenses for the marketing committee for the year 2022.
Second the motion.
Okay.
Discussion?
So
All in,
we have an original motion. And then the original motion has been modified. So,
No, we only have one motion. We approved
I-
the contract before.
okay, all right. So now we have a second, okay, second.
Yeah, it's.
we have a second.
The
contract.
original is subsumed in Ed's
Okay.
motion.
Yeah.
Before I go into it, we do have a second contract dealing with the Steve Dinberg, and that is a contract too. So could that be part of that, Ed?
So do we, well, that, my question is, do we need more photographs?
I want to talk about, let me go through this and let's do the advertising. So we go back to photographs. In Rhonda, we went ahead, we were trying to put together different photographs for things to do in Sky Valley with a couple of different publishing companies, and we just don't have it there. We're looking at, I want an example, I wanted to have something on the golfing, more of a golfing shots. I wanted to have more on pickleball and examples, swimming, people doing things, families doing things, and it's just not there. The second part of what they were looking for is they want very high quality, talking to Rhonda, these publishers, they want high quality photos. There's certain, Rhonda, you might be able to tell us a little bit about what it is. It has to be a level that they can use in terms of putting it into publications. And
Well, as one person in particular wanted high resolution photos for their publication, and so that's important. Being able to transfer it to whoever, we have to figure out how we're making sure that somehow it gets converted. he had high resolution photos, but somehow it gets converted if you try to email it, and so we have to figure out how to transmit it without losing the quality. But yeah, I think it's like we ran into some things in trying to create the advertisements that made us realize we need more vertical photographs. So I think it's good for whoever does the photography. We should ask that that any shot that is taken, let's go ahead and do a vertical and a horizontal. That way we have the opportunity to create different layouts, and we're not trying to fit a horizontal picture into a vertical, spot. And also I noticed with a lot of the activity shots look great, except for most of them have the people with their backs to the viewer. And so if you were trying to feature a whole lot of activity shots, every single one of them would have the backs to the viewer. And so we don't want that. And I don't know if you have to get do a model release form in order to show people's faces or what. I mean, that would be something I guess the photographer would have to figure out. But I would definitely like more variety. I liked what he provided. I just feel like we need more. Like you said, Gordon, there are things that we're missing and we need more. And it would be nice if we had someone that was able to get here more often, to be able to capture events kind of on the fly. You know what I mean?
Steve Dinberg is supposed to be a professional and know all of these things, all the answers to these questions that you're asking. And last time I think he tried to get her, he slid around in the snow and went home or something. I don't know what happened, but I would fully expect him to provide, if we're going to throw another $8,000 at him, I think he needs to do exactly the right thing for us.
well, I
Yeah, and
think
the other thing I would add that I think we need in terms of photographs is that so far we don't have the photographs, the high quality photographs that really emphasize how great the fall color can be. I mean, it's a matter of timing. The other thing is the snow pictures in the winter, and again, it's a difficult timing issue to get up here. So yeah, between the people and the fall and the snow, I think there's some real obvious, those are the obvious gaps to me in the photo library. We can go ahead and get started with what we've got, but we
What
ought
else?
to continue and get it done.
I think,
Sorry,
Jim,
Henry.
I think one of the answers is it has to be managed. In this case, we have to lay out what we're going to do. Someone's in charge. I guess I could do that and say, here are the things we want done. And then we got to get it done. So it's just not timing wise. And I know Steve was asking for, give me the times when you have, let me know in advance what is going on in terms of activities. And so that essentially just got to be managed. And we got to tell them what we want. And I know we need activities because, example, when we're some of these publications, why do they want to come to Sky Valley? We want to say beautiful photos, things to do. And
Right.
people, families involved, and we just don't have those. And you say, well, we can have someone else, locals do it. Well, it's the quality, and then who's going to manage this? You know, when you try to do these things, there has to be one person in charge of this. And trying to say that, well, I can have 3 or 4 different owners bring in photos, it's very difficult. Will they do it on a timely basis? As the quality of the photos good? And to me, we need a professional photographer and manage him and tell him what we want to do. But
If I can just reiterate whatever I'm supposed to say.
Yes.
When I kind of talked about this when I was probably a couple of months ago, yeah, Steve understands that, and I think we kind of all agreed that we need more people in shots. And so this is these are things that we talked about. Y'all mentioned, said, you know, there's things on the calendar on the website that we can look at. Steve's, trust me, he's got the time. He's willing to come up and spend as much time as, you know, there is. I mean, we certainly need more pictures, more real estate pictures, as we did the shots we got up there with Debbie and Jim's place was fantastic. Certainly understand the facing. So we got to get more people there at the clubhouse. Trust me, Steve's the one telling me, hey, we got to do this. So he knows what needs to be done in order to sell something, not that green grass. Okay. Certainly the timing on the fall colors is, you know, he was up there twice within like 3 weeks. The snow, you didn't have as much snow this year. So it's hard to, other than the one really bad one, you know, which he did, you know, get kind of lost in. Jason had to help him out. So that's stuff that we were sitting there. So trust me, it's not about Steve. He's ready to come up. He's ready to take as many people. We need to, you know, find out exactly when there's going to be a pickleball match, you know, more croquet stuff, more things like the 4th of July. You know, he came up and spent 4th of July there all day. So more things like that. He's got it. He knows what needs to be done. He certainly can do horizontal, vertical, and all that type stuff. And so if we can just have a liaison in between, and trust me, I can stay on top of it, which I did as part of my job with Steve, to say, okay, hey, and that's the reason I came up, I think maybe other than one time, just to make sure everything was getting done right. I didn't come up in the snow. But all that stuff he knows, and he's the one been telling me we got to get more people in the pictures. That's what's going to help sell and things of these. So all that stuff is checked off and just ready to go. So if we can have a Gordon or somebody who can say, hey, we need to do this. And I can say, hey, we got to get some pickleball court. So what do we need, Gordon? And Gordon says, okay, we're going to have a match on Tuesday and Thursday and whatever. And I'll tell Steve. And so all that back end stuff is easier to do than it sounds like. So, and I think the pictures, you know, have been, you know, extremely well done. And as I said, you know, he showed your pictures to the state of Georgia Department of Natural Resources, and they loved them. And so they're hiring him to, you know, start doing their state parks. So.
Doug, I think he also suggested that he could do monthly videos that we could use on our website and social media. And I think that would be part of it. And Gordon, if you can be the go-between and let him know when we can stage people walking the trails or playing pickleball or whatever else we want to showcase. I think that's the answer.
Yeah.
Well,
Is
we
this-
got, don't we have pickleball on Saturday morning and croquet Wednesday afternoon and Friday afternoon? That's,
Yes.
Yeah, and if we could know when the tournaments were, I think that's a neat thing, whether it's pickleball or the races that we have here. I think this year, the races through Sky Valley are going to be a 25K, a 50K, and they even
Yeah.
have 100K, and we can
Yes.
get that all in there. And the Fall Fest, the hay bale trail,
Yes.
everything. Just if Gordon could spearhead that, that would be great.
Yeah, I'll
Is
do
it-
that.
I just want to ask a question about this contract. This $8,000, is this for another 4-season campaign?
That's what it says. And yes,
Okay, well, I know with his issues with the snow,
yes.
he was not able to get any photos. He was fully paid. He's already been paid up for this last contract, even though we don't have those photos. Will that be taken into consideration with this contract?
good question.
Well, I thought it was ended, it ended, Doug maybe can add that it was a period of time and it ended. Is that, am I correct? Because of his new contract, I'm looking at it. States
Yeah, it
for-
started like, what, June of last year and
Yes,
whatever. So we
Yeah,
certainly
went through
try to
it.
get as
It went
much
through
as you can in terms of photos. And certainly, I don't know, there might have to be another answer for, I mean, we might have to, just watch the weather, and see what's happening and get up there and get a house that, where he can just walk around or have a golf cart or something like that in terms of the snow. And now we didn't expect the snow to dry up. Okay. We thought you guys were going to have a whole lot more snow. We kept an eye on it. I know you had some flurries, things like that, but nothing like, you had. So, that's things that we did. And also I know we had talked about in the past that, and I think Gordon, you mentioned this, that, hey, if something comes up, then we've got him, we need this, we need that, and we need some extra this and whatever. So a lot's been done, but we still have a lot to do that needs to tie in, and then you're done. And the videos are easy to do that Holly's talking about. And
Jason, do you have a mitigation in mind, since we didn't really get our snow pictures as far as this next contract? Do you have something in mind?
No, I mean, nothing that I'm prepared to discuss. I just wanted to make that point that I know he came up in a 2-wheel drive vehicle and we had, I think, 17 inches of snow that day. So, yeah, I know that was a challenge, but I just really, as somebody that tries to be responsible for the city dollars, I just wanted to make that
Yes.
point.
Does anybody have an actual inventory of what's been provided to us from the photographer?
sure,
Yes.
he sent everything there, Harry.
Okay.
Not seeing
I
it.
think
I have-
Rhonda,
I just
Rhonda's got that. Yeah.
And that's
Don't you,
under,
Rhonda?
I have a link. I have a link and I'm happy to send it to you or whoever needs it. I have a link to what I've been provided. If I could just add something, I think it would be worth considering having, I mean, I'm not disputing that his photographs are, they're beautiful. They're beautiful photographs. I just think it would be worth considering having someone local, maybe in addition to him, that can get here on the fly for different things, just because there are days that there's, fog in the valley and it looks really pretty and there's flowers blooming, and it would just be nice if it didn't have to be so overly coordinated, like if they were local, it would just be easier to, that would be kind of like their part of their expectation would be to try to be here more often.
Isn't he just an hour and a half away or something like that?
Yeah, it's
He's-
about an hour and a half for him, Harry.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know.
He's in Chamblee, so it's north, well, whatever, close to the city.
I know Bob went out and tried to get other bids from other photographers and could really.
Yeah, I
couldn't-
mean, we kind of went down that road last year, if y'all
Yes,
remember it.
Right,
Couldn't
yeah.
find, just somebody with pictures, couldn't find anybody.
right.
So, and then you're gonna have to still, I understand what Rhonda's saying, and I get it. You're still gonna have to have somebody to coordinate to say, hey, we need this done or need that done or whatever. So you still gotta have somebody that's gonna stay on top of that person. But
Is
I
anybody-
agree, it would be
Is
nice if
anybody,
somebody could do, the local stuff really quick.
Well, I do know one photographer in Clayton. If you want to have a look at his work, his name is John McLean, and he has a gallery, I think on Main Street in Franklin, and he does really beautiful work, and he's like 30 minutes away. So he would be somebody to consider as like a extra if you want to.
has anybody seen Jean DeCostella's photography?
Say the name again, Jamie.
Jean is that right? How you pronounce it? DeCostella? DeCostella?
Ah,
They live here in the valley, and I see her photography around. She has it watermarked, so, and I think she has some for sale. But she's here and she takes really, really lovely pictures, and she's getting some of those shots that are just like the fog or the, not
Can she do the
necessarily.
various things? Yeah.
Yeah, but
Sure.
her living here in Sky Valley, she might be somebody just to look at her work and see if she's worth even a part-time.
She did a wonderful detailed photo of the chapel, which has been raffled off a number of times now. And I think it's going to go into production too.
Well, we've committed a pretty good bit of money to Denberg to do what he does. So, why would we be looking for other ways to spend more photography money?
I think
Well-
we need to give Steve, the summary of what it is that we feel we'd like to see more of, and let him coordinate with his other jobs to get up here to fulfill those specific needs.
Aren't we in an all or nothing predicament with him with the 8,000?
Well, we are essentially the term, I'll go back to terms of contracts. The term of this agreement will cover 1 year, starting the spring, summer, fall. And essentially they asked Jason, it was a yearly contract and the contract is over. So it's a new contract. It's a new.
Well, I think we need to renew the Denberg contract, whatever we're going to do.
Yes, and remember, it was 16,000 and we cut it in half. You remember? the original
Exactly.
Proposal, guys, it was 16,000. And in terms of trying to get it down over a 2-year period, and they said, well, can we get it all done? So essentially, he's done half of his contract. And in terms of budgeting was one of the reasons we went with 8,000 last year. And then the idea was we'd go this year and do the other part of his contract. But his contract is for 1 year, and as that goes over, essentially that proposal is over. So we can go
I've gone
in.
around with him a couple of times, and he's thinking all the time, and I show him what I think is the very best, and he finds something better, or he has another objective that he's also trying to work with. So. I think we invested time with him and in directing him, and I think he's got a good understanding of what we need, and I think he comes up with some absolutely fantastic shots. So I think we need to do that. Not that we can't continue to investigate DeCostella or Don McLean. But in terms of current progress, I think this is something we want to do. And I'm sorry, we've got an
terms of
11:30 obligation, and Deb's already
Administrivia
left.
says Administrivia says I need to withdraw my motion
Okay,
so that we could vote on whatever else we have to do with the contract.
Yes, okay. So any other questions in terms of, Steve's contract? We cannot do it at this point, delay it, but we had the need for high quality videos and it's there, and Rhonda just said it, and I tried to get some photos and there was nothing available for me. So someone's got to fill it in, and if we're going to continue marketing, and we need these high quality photos.
I agree with that. We need the high quality photos. And as Jay pointed out, everything in marketing, or most of the stuff in marketing, is in the digital world. So we want that to be the best for Forward Raven helping us and for our website. And as long as we have you, Gordon, who have graciously volunteered to make sure that we have our checkoff box on what we want from Steve, and what Rhonda needs for her website and social media, as far as whatever size photos, or I think let's go ahead with it and then move on.
Okay. Can I say something?
Sure.
I read this contract a month ago, so I'm kind of thinking about it. But in the first paragraph where it says services, and this is what the photographers will provide over the 4 seasons,
Yes.
including golf course, real estate, club activities for the purpose of marketing. But it really doesn't drill down into, say, the community of Sky Valley or the city of Sky Valley, like the pickleball or the
Trails.
Sky Valley city activities, not totally related to the club. So should that be put in there and specified in this
Right.
contract?
Yeah.
Hey, Jamie, he can put it in there, but let me tell you, and as I mentioned, he's the one telling me, I need pictures of the clubhouse. I need pictures of houses. I need pictures of people on the pickleball. I've got to know schedules. I've got to know when there's going to be somebody out there. Trust me, he's doing it, and he'd be glad to go back and put that in, Jamie. But trust me, he's all over this, and he's ready to, get up here and get a lot more detailed stuff. We can make this happen. And I'm not just pushing Steve. I just know if you go back and try to look for somebody else, you might find somebody a little cheaper, but you're not going to find much. Not with a professional.
I think that's a good suggestion, that we do kind of have him just amend his contract to include all the stuff that we want, and maybe even put in the monthly mini videos or something, so that it's real specific. And with Gordon
That's
managing
easy
it, that's great.
Yeah, I
Hey,
saw the.
Gordon, if you want to vote on it, or however you want to do it, so we don't have to keep bringing it up and waiting now the end of May. If you want to go ahead and vote on it, and just tell him that's what we voted on, Steve, that you will amend your thing to include. And if Gordon, if you want to write something and just say, hey, it includes pickleball and parties and events.
Walking on the
City
trails.
activities.
City
City of
activities.
Sky Valley activities.
Then he can do that. Let's.
That's what I initially.
Because y'all hire me, but I would say let's don't wait another month. Let's go ahead and vote on it and get that over with and get him up there. I mean, he's ready to get back up here and get things going again.
Yeah, I had sent that out earlier, the second of his services, the second sentence, it include drone photography of the Sky Valley Country Club. I says of the city of Sky Valley's and Sky Valley Country Club, including golf. So we can put in those things we need. Yes, I agree with you, Jamie. We should include the city of Sky Valley along
Activities,
with the Sky Valley Country Club activities. Yes. Is that-
And the monthly mini videos.
Yeah, all that.
Send that to me. Monthly videos, okay. Tell me what you want to change and I'll get with Steve and have him include that in his contract agreement.
Well, just all the Sky
Okay.
Valley activities,
Okay.
events, and venues.
Okay,
I think he was
Mhm.
talking about housing in Sky Valley as well. And that's
Right.
something you
Yeah,
can do
we
any
had
time of
talked, if
day
you
in between
remember.
waiting for it to snow or the leaves to turn or.
Remember, Jim, we had talked to, but we would like to have some more houses, maybe some night views. I know I mentioned the really nice house that's down there by the water. You know, the river.
Include
then-
properties for properties that are available also.
Sure.
So we need to have a motion to
Yes.
accept the revised contract. Is
Yes.
that what you want to do,
Would it
Gordon?
be
Yes,
a
is there a-
motion, would it be
is
a
there a-
motion contingent upon the revised contract?
Thank you, Jason.
Yes. I guess all in favor? Is there a motion? Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
I think Ed has one.
No, I withdrew my motion.
Oh,
Okay,
sorry. Thank
Harry
you.
just made the motion. I
Thank you,
second
Harry.
Harry's motion.
Here we go. Aye.
Hi,
yeah, I've been here. Is there the motion? I'm sorry, I didn't hear the motion.
It was would you say it again, Jason?
Okay.
I was just suggesting that the motion would be to approve Dinsburg contract with contingent with the revisions to include other activities as discussed beyond golf.
so we need to specifically say those. Holly, what was your motion?
And it was Harry Collins who moved.
It had to do with including all the city activities, events and venues, real estate, properties, and many videos, or the monthly videos.
Real estate's kind of broad. What do you mean by that?
To highlight our beautiful housing and properties. How about that?
Along with more pictures of fall color and snow.
Well,
the
I think
seasons.
he,
Go
We're
ahead.
gonna
Jamie.
come up and stay with you and Debbie, Jim. So we're gonna
That's
ready.
fine. We've got a bedroom.
Okay,
Yes.
well, I ain't sleeping with Steve, but we're coming up a couple days before the snow.
Good idea.
Jamie, did you want to say something?
I don't know that we need to put in, if he just gets houses like in the background showing the houses, would that be what you're talking about? Not a specific?
No,
And so
not
I don't know
specific
that we need
houses.
to put that in, is what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
okay, all
That
right,
might get a little too
agree.
detailed.
okay. Yes, just to highlight, in like you say, in the background, all our beautiful places up here.
Mhm.
Okay, so we're
Motion,
going back
second.
to who is the second? Do I hear a second?
Ed
think
second.
Ed
I
second.
second it.
Oh.
Okay, well, there's a vote. Any discussion? Okay, let's vote. I'm sorry. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, let's have a vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 And carries. Very good. So as a follow-up, would you send that to me, whoever made the notes, so that, and I'll get hold of Steve and then have him make those changes in his agreement. And then
That's
I'll send it-
our secretary, Jason.
Jason, could you send that to me and the best we can, and I'll have that incorporated, or you could send it on to Steve. I think I'll work with Steve on that. And then have him send us an updated proposal, and I'll send it on to all of you to look at.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Wow, it was great. It was something. Well, let's talk about the rest of the expenses here.
Gordon, I'm gonna have to leave. I have a medical appointment.
Okay.
This is Carol.
Okay, Carol, thank you.
Is this where someone needs to make a motion to accept all
Yeah.
the, to approve all the expenditures
Yes.
as a blanket approval?
As an
and
accepted, accepted budget.
Accepted.
go.
Let me look at the numbers here. Where are I through all my things here? Okay, Scott, here we go. Okay, yes. Harry, you might want to do it. How would we word it in terms of, we've approved both the Golf Life proposal and of course Steve Burns and the remaining expenses you have. So how do we put it together as one motion?
The motion would read that we now accept the entire budget with the 2 approved contracts as discussed during the meeting for the year 2022.
Including advertising expenses and general supplies and materials.
Yes,
All
Well,
of
that's
it.
the entire budget, isn't it?
yes, that is,
Is that
yes,
part of
Well,
the
that's-
entire budget?
yes, it is,
Those are the other 2 components.
Yeah.
yes,
But the only ones that were under consideration were the 2 contracts,
yes,
correct?
right,
And we've already voted on the 2 contracts.
contract,
Right.
Right.
Now we accept the whole budget.
yes.
Right.
Is there do I hear a second from Harry's motion?
I second.
Okay, great. Discussion? Okay, very good. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, very good. Okay, very good. Any other business? Getting down. I'm trying to wrap this thing up. Any other business? And final would be next meeting date, May the 22nd, Thursday, the 26th. Any reason why we couldn't have that to be on a Thursday, last Thursday of the month? Okay, we're okay on that, great. Well,
Okay.
very
On my-
good.
On
Thank
my
you,
calendar for next month.
fantastic. Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you,
I'll
Gordon. Thank you, everybody.
Now,
Thanks, everybody. Enjoyed it.
we need a motion to
I
conclude.
move we adjourn.
Wait a minute, Jason, what? What'd you say?
We had a motion to adjourn
Oh,
by
Okay.
Jim.
Okay.
somebody second.
Okay, very good.
I second.
Okay.
Very good. All in favor, thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Gordon.
Aye.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you.
Thank y'all.